I am back. I am doing Entrepreneur Pitfall number 10, and I am cheating a little bit. I did not get it posted yesterday, and that's kind of going to be what my topic is going to be about. My topic in my Entrepreneur Pitfall number 10 is going to be dealing with disappointment and frustration as an entrepreneur. That is a huge pitfall. And it's something that I wanted to address, and that's kind of the reason why I did not get my video taken care of yesterday. And I was actually very disappointed and very frustrated with myself because I had a goal to make sure that I did a video every day. And yesterday got so busy, I got so swamped, and I just did not get to it. That's not an excuse, but it happens. And there are times when you set goals for yourself as an entrepreneur, and sometimes you make them successfully and sometimes you don't, and when you don't, it is very disappointing and it is very, very frustrating, but you have to learn how to handle that. So what I wanted to do was just give you 3 pointers or 3 times when disappointment and frustration can set in. And of course, again, these are from my perspective because I try very hard to give you, be transparent and give you what I'm going through. But one of the reasons why I get really frustrated is if I'm working on a project and I've set a deadline and I intended to get it done by a certain day, I get very frustrated if I'm not able to meet the deadline, whether it's because of something I've done or whether it's because of, a situation that's out of my control. I get very frustrated because I really am organized and I really do like to stick to deadlines, but sometimes that's just not possible. The second time that I get disappointed or frustrated is when, just in general, if I have a task list and I feel like it's growing longer and longer every day, and I am trying to knock that task list down, I get very frustrated when I am not able to accomplish as many tasks as I would like to, especially if I'm not able to accomplish them due to interruptions in my day. And then the last one would be that I get very, very disappointed with myself when I overthink things. I tend to want things to be perfect. So if I am writing a training or creating a document or even writing a blog for someone, I really overthink it to the point where sometimes that is the reason why my deadline is missed, because I'm constantly thinking to myself, Tiffany, did you write this well enough? Will people understand it? Did you give this 100%? Did you do the best that you could? So those are my 3 reasons that I find are my pitfalls that cause me to be disappointed or frustrated with myself. So I'll give those to you again. The first one is if I do not finish a project by a deadline time. The next one is if I have a large task list or to-do list and I expect to get a lot done in a day and I don't get a lot of those things done due to interruptions. And then the next one is overthinking and being a perfectionist and trying really hard to have everything be perfect. And so here are some of the ways that what I've learned how to do to combat it. I still struggle with it, but there are some things that I have put in place to try to help myself with it, because here's the biggest thing. As an entrepreneur, you are going to have disappointment, you're going to have frustration, but you have to learn that you can't stay in that moment. You have to learn how to move outside of that, and you also have to learn how to do better the next time. So one of the things that I've learned first and foremost is that you have to start forgiving yourself. You have to say, you know what, I didn't accomplish as much today as I really wanted to, but tomorrow I will do better. You have to remember that there's absolutely no way you can get everything done. You do have to try to do things in bite size, but you have to forgive yourself and say, hey, you know what, I tried my best today to get as much done as I could, and there's always tomorrow. I can start over again with the new list. The next thing is going to be, I have learned that when I get really overwhelmed and have a lot of work, I turn my phone off. And some people don't agree with that because they're like, what if your clients call and what if you miss money? But the truth of the matter is, my sanity is more important than any of those things. So if I have a lot of high profile projects, or if I have a lot of writing that I need to do, I literally will say, okay, you know what? For the next 4 hours, I am not answering my phone. Now, I may not turn it off. I may just turn the ringer off so that I can't hear it ring, or I may sit it in a different part of the office with the ringer off so that I actually can't see it. But then when I do get up to maybe take a break or have a water break, I'll go check it and I'll see if I missed anything important. I will tell you that it does help having Google Voice, because when people call, I can literally see exactly who called, but if they leave me a message, I can also see, I can read the message as well. So having a transcribed voicemail also helps. Another thing that I do is I get by myself. When I find that the interruptions are too much because I have a lot of phone calls, or if I have a lot of people emailing me, asking me, if I could help them with this, or if they need my opinion on something, sometimes I literally just escape and I go to a location where I know no one's going to follow me or no one's going to look for me. And I just try to find a very quiet place so that I can get within myself and get my tasks knocked out, and get them taken care of. And then another thing that I do is I force myself to have deadlines. That's kind of how I deal with the overthinking and the perfectionist part. I force myself to have a deadline. Like, I'll say, hey, you know what, Tiffany, no matter what, by 12 p.m., you have to have this done. Wherever you are, you're going to send it to the client, and it's going to be a draft. You'll let them take a look at it, and then they can tell you what they think about it at that point. And the truth of the matter is, most of the time, once I send it to the client, they are super happy. They're like, oh my God, you did such a good job. But it's me that is overthinking it. And so what I have to do is I have to learn that it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be good quality, and it does have to be complete. And so that's kind of where I was yesterday. Yesterday I was in a really, really interesting headspace. I was overwhelmed and I was disappointed with myself because I didn't accomplish as much as I wanted to. One of the points was really that I did not get the video done, but again, I had to forgive myself. And then finally I said, hey, you know what? Tomorrow is a new day. You can't conquer everything in 24 hours. And some days you just have to say, I'll get it done tomorrow. So today I will be shooting 2 videos. And if you guys don't know, it's actually 11:05. So I'm shooting video number 1, which is Entrepreneur Pitfall number 10. And that is disappointment and frustration. And I will be shooting another video shortly after this one. But again, just as always, I would love for you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, and go follow me on any of my social media. I hope that the information I give you guys is helpful. I try to be as transparent as possible, and I enjoy doing the videos. It actually is helping me learn a lot about myself. Number one, it is teaching me that I can step up to any challenge that I set for myself. But the other thing is teaching me is to understand that I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to always look perfect. I'm not going to always say the right thing. I'm not going to, it may be a total disaster, but at the end of the day, if I tried to do it and if I accomplished it, that means more to me than anything. So until the next video, I enjoyed it. Thank you guys very much, and I will talk to you next time.